Good evening, everybody. We will get going in just a couple of moments' time. If you just want to put in the chat who you are and which club you are representing, that'd be fabulous. Just to put some names to clubs and to or referees, leagues, wherever you might be. Just chuck it in the chat. Tell us who you are. So good to see so many of you with us tonight. If you haven't already, please do just introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know which club you're with, or if you're a league referee, no matter what you are, just let us know who you are in the chat. And we will get going in just a minute's time. We're just expecting a couple more people in, and then we'll get going. Just to affirm, you have no ability to speak or appear on this. So your chat or the Q&A are your only options to communicate with us. So please do use the chat or the Q&A. If you've got any questions at any point throughout this session, please do use them both. But again, if you just want to introduce yourselves in the chat, let us know where you're from, which clubs you're with. That'd be fab. And we'll get going in just about 30 seconds time. And hello, Claire. Cool. Right, let's get this going. Well, firstly, a very warm welcome to everybody. It's really nice to see so many familiar names in the chat and so many familiar clubs as well. It's fab. As I say, if you've got any questions at all, please do use the chat. And also, please use the Q&A, whichever one works best for you. We are manning them both, and we will do our best to answer all questions as we go through. I hope you're all recovered from Sunday night's epic journey and epic game. And I think I just about have recovered. It was a hell of an evening, hell of an occasion. And to be a second time European champions in a row is nothing to be diminished. So anyway, on to the serious stuff for tonight. We are looking at club portal discipline. And we're going to take you through literally everything from start to finish of what you can expect to see in the club portal and how that's changed from the old system within whole game system. In terms of your presenters tonight, you have got myself. I'm Sam Yates. I'm the digital engagement lead at the FA, and I'm joined by Claire. Claire's doing the majority of the work this evening. Claire's our digital customer services manager, and she'll be doing the demo tonight. She'll be taking you through in the live system, how it all works, all the different features that are available to you, and some of the key messaging that you need to remember to take home as we start this season. It's not just Claire and I, though, tonight. We also do have Hayley and Grace from our discipline team in the chat. They'll be answering any questions you've got. So if you have any, please do put them in the chat, whether they are discipline related or if they are discipline system related. We will be answering them. Hayley and Grace are very knowledgeable compared to myself and Claire. Speaking of knowledgeable people, we also have Lee and John Sigsworth in the chat from our digital customer services team. Again, on hand to answer any questions you might have. And finally, and you might see him make an appearance in the chat every so often, is Adam Doyle. He's a product manager for the England football portals. And again, he's been quite instrumental in building all this and how it all works. So if you've got any questions, you've got a very strong team on hand to come and help you and make sure that you know what you're doing as we go forwards. This session is being recorded and it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel tomorrow. So if you don't follow us on or don't subscribe to us on YouTube, the username will appear at the end of this session. And you'll be able to share this session with whoever you need to share it with within your club, because we know that there are many people that help make a club run these days, and especially involved discipline. So in terms of this session, it will be done by 7:30. We endeavour to do this. We might not be able to answer every single question specifically, but we will be bringing all the questions together, answering key themes, but the team in the chat will do their best to answer every question they can. Any they don't get through will be posted to our knowledge base. And again, details of where to find that will be at the back end of this session. In terms of an agenda tonight, we are going through a brief history, just for those who've maybe just started or fairly new to role, just to give you a bit of a picture of the journey we've been on, replacing from paper to where we are now. Then Claire's going to take you through the live demo, and literally from start to finish of every process you'll need. And finally, we'll finish with support and guidance and where you can find more stuff. We know that some grassroots leagues are starting around now, but others will be later in September. So I know if once I've slept, I forget half the things I've seen in a day. We don't want you to think that this is the only time you can get any guidance or support. So we'll point you towards those towards the back end again of this session. So speaking of the journey, this is the journey we have been on. So many moons ago, about 11 years ago now, the referee reporting system was all done via an Excel spreadsheet, and they would email that through to their county FA, and that replaced the old paper messaging system. Now, back in the day of maybe 15 years ago, referees would have to fill out a match report in triplicate, send it through to their county FA via post. The whole process obviously was rather slow, was extremely admin heavy, and say about 15 years ago, we tried to replace it with an Excel doc. People did still use the handwritten reports, and that was perfectly fine. It was each to their own, but the handwritten stuff was dead slow. The Excel sped it up ever so slightly. And then 11 years ago in 2014, we released Whole Game System. Whole Game System initially was for discipline, and it was designed to bring all of the club admin processes, league admin processes, and referee admin processes all onto one system to speed up some of those processes and to reduce the admin time, because we all know admin is not the most exciting thing in the entire world. So we're dead keen to reduce some of the admin time, and Whole Game came out. We were then able to speed up the turnaround time. But one thing we had to do was build in safeguards, because we were replacing a paper-based system, which now means that in 2025, some of those processes seem a bit out of touch and a bit still long-winded. So we've been through this whole entire journey, and we've learned lots along the way. And finally, this is the final piece of the puzzle, really, to replace Whole Game System and replace it with our brand new England football portals. And I say brand new, they were initially introduced in 2021. And you remember, for those who've been around long enough, that player registration was the first thing to hit the England football portals, or club portal, as you might, the one you probably use the most. And that journey has been quite a long journey to replace Whole Game. There's a lot on Whole Game System, but this is now the final piece of the puzzle, bringing across, and means that at the end of this month, in just a few days' time, in 2 days' time, Whole Game System will finally be shut down and fully replaced by a modern fit for purpose system, which you will find hopefully to be far more helpful to use. More helpful to use in your day-to-day admin life when you are running your club. So how's it changed from when it's moved from whole game system across to the club portal? Well, the first thing is, and as I mentioned, we had to build in some safeguards to replace a paper-based process. And one of those was you had to acknowledge that you'd actually seen a case. Bear in mind, this was the first time we brought it to whole game, was the first time that anything discipline related was brought online. Now, with the new system, you do not need to acknowledge a case. So that's been removed. If you've got a yellow card or a red card and your player is registered, literally the only thing you have to do is go and pay for it. There's no acknowledging, there's no inputting data. It's all been sorted because you've already done it all. There's nothing else to do. So there's no need to acknowledge cases going forwards. Next is the intention to claim is in there. And the intention to claim is very binary this time. So in whole game system, again, there were some safeguards built in if in case of referees not reporting properly and the club's not knowing what to do. That's no longer the case. If you intend to claim, you have to stick to FA guidance and FA regulations. So even if the referee hasn't maybe submitted on time, speak to your county straight away, make sure that they are under the make sure they are aware that you intend to claim, whether it's for wrongful dismissal or for mistaken identity. If you wait and wait and wait, maybe 3-4 days, and the referee finally reports it in, and you've then bypassed that intention to claim, you've missed it. So that's one big major change you need to be aware of, is that you are responsible if you've seen a red and yellow card happen and it's gone to the wrong person, or you need to do something about it to claim against it. Make sure you get that in nice and early so that the county can deal with it. But if we've made the referee reporting system the most simple it ever has been, the quickest it ever has been, and it's also built for mobile. So hopefully the majority will do it once they've just exited the pitch and they're at the pitch side about to leave, or in the changing room straight after the game. They'll be completing their discipline. That will almost instantly appear on your portal. Again, just to show the difference in time saving here. In the past, when a referee puts the report in, it would go to your county FA to accept or reject or do whatever they need to do, and it would then push through to your whole game system portal. In the modern world, if your player is registered, which hopefully they will be, and all their details are showing, which again, as part of player registration, they should all be there. As soon as the referee has reported the incident, it will pretty much instantly appear on your club portal. So it could be that come 7 o'clock on a Saturday or come midday on a Sunday, you'll have all the reports through and you're ready to go. You're not having to wait for any intervention from a human at a county FA to be involved in any of this. So again, it just speeds up the whole process. And if you've got a game on a Tuesday night and your game's on the Saturday, hopefully again, the lack of awareness or waiting for referees to do stuff or for someone to do something doesn't need to be there anymore. The system just handles it all, and you'll be in no doubt as to the situation of if your player can play or not, etc. The next one is easily view suspensions, including the type and the category. So Claire will demo this to you, but we have dramatically made this much cleaner, much simpler, so you know which specific games that a person is going to be suspended for. You'll know from which case they are suspended. You'll know the accumulation of red, yellow cards, etc. It's all super straightforward. You can't get it wrong anymore. Yes, there will be some user error in places, maybe from referees or from your clubs, etc. But we have built in as much as we can this to be as straightforward and as safe as possible, so you can't miss it. One major change to be aware of is that invoicing has changed. And now, depending where you were across the country, you either had maybe a daily invoice, a weekly invoice, or a monthly invoice, and that would be generated from your county FA. Now, that has changed, and that was changed off user research and a lot of clubs telling us that we've got some players who will pay almost instantly, and you've got some where you constantly have to chase them to get their fines back into the club so you can pay them off. So what happens now, and again, Claire will demo this for you, is that you will invoice yourself and pay it off. Now, that doesn't mean you can wait to the end of the season and then go and pay a massive job lot of, I'm assuming, a couple of quid because you're all well-behaved clubs with well-behaved players. But if you have got the odd person who does get the odd yellow card and red card here and there, they need to be paid off, or at least the invoice raised within 14 days and paid. The system will remind you of what needs paying and when, and you will get email notifications as well which I'll cover in just a second for what those are. But you will invoice yourself now, so don't expect an invoice to be generated on your behalf. You will, as Claire will show you, either invoice one case or a number of cases, pay them and move on. But it is now down to you to monitor your own invoicing and making sure you stick to your own timelines. But it does give you the flexibility to select which cases you want to pay based off the funds that you've had in from your players, or maybe your coaching staff as well. And finally, a big win here is that Fulltime and the club portal are fully integrated into each other. So when you are appointed fixtures in Fulltime, they will appear in club portal to be selected as suspension matches, so you don't have to create them. Now, we know in whole game system, this created a number of issues, and there were a shed load of suspensions that were never cleared off because clubs weren't able to or struggled to put in suspension matches. So being able to see them from Fulltime, you can just select this one and the next one, and they're suspended for 2 matches. Done nice and simple. You still have the option to create matches. So for things like friendlies, which aren't appointed through Fulltime, you can still create them. And again, Claire will show you how easy that now is. But the Fulltime integration just makes it so much simpler and opens the door in the future for things to automatically populate, for things to automatically show on Fulltime as well, because we know that's where a lot of your supporters and parents and carers and whoever might come and watch your football matches, that's where they'll go and check it. So it's opened the door for us to be able to build this in. This is just the first step, really. But again, it's a huge time saver for a very large number of clubs out there, because almost 90% of grassroots football is based off Fulltime now. So we know the majority of people will benefit from this integration. And talking of notifications, so on the right-hand side of the screen, there are a couple of examples of the updates you'll get there, the 2 weekly ones. So you'll get now a weekly suspension email notification, and you'll get a weekly case email notification. And again, that just breaks down the cases you've had in the last week is one big job lot. And also it breaks down all the suspensions you are currently observing as a club. So you'll know exactly who to make sure it doesn't play at the weekend, or if you need to go and query something with your county FA or whoever is providing your discipline service within your county FA, you know who to go and query it with. But the notifications you will get are for when a charge is raised, a response is overdue, charge results, the claim results, payments overdue, and a payment overdue suspension. They will generate as soon as any of those are applicable. So if a charge is raised, you instantly get an email notification. If a payment is overdue, again, you instantly get a notification. The only 2 that are weekly, or so we say, are scheduled, are the suspension email notification and the weekly case notification. So we are trying to keep everybody in the loop. At the moment, this only goes to club secretaries only. Now, if you think it should be going to more people, again, chuck it in the chat. We have a number of people monitoring this, and all the enhancements we add to the system are based on user demand. So if all 336 of you say in the chat that we also wanted to go to the treasurer or all key officials or whatever else, do let us know. But at the moment, these email notifications only go to the secretary. So just be aware of that. And if you aren't the secretary, or you are the secretary and you want it to go straight to the treasurer, because the only thing you have to do on a red and yellow card now pretty much is just go and pay it, make sure that you forward that across to them so that they have sight to it. So that's my very brief introduction to the system. And I'm going to hand over to Claire, who's going to take you through literally every step of the processes that we have now in Club Portal. And yeah, if you've got any questions, please check them in the chat and we'll answer as we go. But Claire, it's over to you.
Thank you very much. No pressure, Adam Doyle. I think Club Treasurer looks to be quite popular to get those notifications too. But if you bear with me now, I'll just share my screen. If you can just tip us the nod, Sam, when you've got it.
Yeah, we've got you.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Okay, so Club Portal. I'm not going to take you through the login bit because I'm assuming everybody on the call kind of knows how to get into the Club Portal by now. But within the Club Portal, you may well have seen you now have a discipline tab. So if we select discipline, Anybody who is a club admin, so all of your secretary, treasurer, welfare officer, chair, and your discipline officers will have access to the discipline tab. You can see we've got 3 tabs across the top here: red and yellow cards, misconduct, and suspensions. And we're going to be looking at all 3 in here. I'm in one of our test clubs, so the data might look a little bit repetitive in here, but obviously yours will contain live data in there. So within the red and yellow cards tab, you can see straight away you can do some kind of search. So you might want to look per team to have a look at any yellow cards for your own team. You can look by offender, or you can, if you know the case number, you can also search by a case number. You've also got a filter bar here. So on the various statuses, obviously you might want to filter out anything that has already been resolved. Awaiting an invoice, those that have already been invoiced, if your treasurer wants to go in and look to pay them. For the purposes of this demo, we're just going to look at awaiting invoice. And you can see on here that these have now been filtered out. It gives you a little bit of information on here. You can clearly see, or you can see here, if there's missing information on the player. So we can see here Mini Cooper has missing information. Both of these cases happen to be in his name. If I click on here, you can see the missing information. He is missing an email, and it's got in small writing here, action required. If I want to update the details in here, I can just click on there. All I would need to do is go and edit the player, add the email address, save the information, rather than having to go back through the case and find that in there. You have the option here at the bottom to go back to the case. You can see on here as well, somebody mentioned, will you be notified? The case is overdue. It's telling you here, creation of the invoice will trigger a £10 non-payment fine. And we talked about the intention to claim before being 3 days. You can see here, this is now grayed out. As the case is more than 3 days old, you do not have that option. I noticed this has come up a few times in the chat. If you know you've got a case and you intend to claim on it, don't take any chances. If the referee hasn't submitted that report, they've got 3 days, I think, excluding the Sunday, to submit the report. If the case isn't shown and you know you're going to claim against it, speak to your county FA. They can add that on behalf of the referee, or they can speak to the referee and get it done. So yeah, don't take the chances. So what kind of information can we see in here? I'm just going to use it. Yeah, in fact, no, let's stick with Mini Cooper. You can see the offender details, all of the match information, and any offence history that offender has. Tells you the offence details in here. So this person has a plain caution and it was a C4. I'll look at create invoice in a second. I'm going to look at a red card now. So if I look at Alex Armand, red cards work in a very, very similar way. If the case is within the 3 days, you've got your raised claim here. This case is overdue, exactly the same information. Gives you a little bit more. This is a plain dismissal. Has an S4 here, explains, give you a full explanation of what the S4 stands for. The difference with the red cards, obviously it could incorporate a suspension. So it will list your suspensions under here. So Alex has been exceptionally bad on the pitch and he already has 4 pending suspensions on here. You can look at the details. So it will give you the suspension details. He has 1 match ban for a friendly game. And it's telling me it's acting serving. So click on that to get rid of it. If I want to go and manage the matches, I can click on here. And it takes me to the suspensions tab. Now I can see Alex is up here, but and it's acting servant. But again, within the suspensions tab, you have the option here to filter. You can search for them by name, etc. So have a little play about when you're in the club portal and have a look at your suspensions. But I'm just interested in my acting servant ones for the purpose of this. You've got a couple of options here. You can confirm the suspension matches or go and view your matches, whichever suits you. Sam mentioned one of the really good options that we have now if your league use full time and they've created the fixtures and released them, then you will have the option to view any matches within there, and you can select the matches to apply against the suspension. You can see this one, I've already created a match. It hasn't come in from full time, but if you've got any matches, they will just be listed exactly the same as this. So I can go in and confirm, or I do have the option here to create a match. It puts it in the current season. I would find my team. So it was for the Red Bulls. It was a friendly match. Find my opposition. WGSO, find another one of my Southwest. And I can put the Red Bulls as my home team. When is the match? The match is on, let's put it on Thursday, and I can create that match. So it's telling me that suspension match that I've created now can be used against the various people who have got suspensions on their records. If I click continue, and I look at Alex Salmond again, the match hasn't appeared. However, because this is a test, if I refresh, it should, hopefully. It is a friendly. Oh, it is. It has appeared. That's a lie. It's 31st. So the match has appeared for the 31st. The other one's disappeared because I've now got an eligible match prior to the 2nd of August. So all I need to do is go and confirm that match. So all matches have been confirmed for this suspension. I get a small notification on there to tell me that. If I go back to my discipline and I look, you'll see down the bottom here. So if you haven't got the View Matches tab, this generally means that the suspension has been raised with another club or has been the suspensions from another club, or it could be a sine die suspension, safeguarding suspension. But you'll see here, so if I look at Christy Navarro, if I view the details, I can see it's a sine die suspension. Again, Jackie Collins, we're not very creative with our names here. The case is linked to another club. So it doesn't allow me, as the club, to add any suspension matches for suspensions that weren't related to an incident within my club. Okay, that's pretty much it with suspensions. The only other thing that I wanted to show you was the misconducts. So in the centre there, we've got the misconduct, the same filters, the same kind of search that you can do on there. You've got a couple of options. We look at this one. Misconduct has been raised, and it's telling me from a club perspective that I need to do something. It's awaiting a response. Tells me when the response is due by, so I must respond to that by the 30th. If I click on here, you can see various details. So it tells me the club, the charge code, what the fixture was, as you would fully expect. You've got a charge letter here, which you can click on to read the information. Again, I don't think we've put much information on there, but that will give you your charge wording. And if you want to, you've got the option here to download that charge letter, and that can be done within seconds. I'm just going to respond to this charge. So I'm going to accept it. I want it to be correspondence hearing, and I have the option here to upload any evidence. If I upload a file, it tells you the various file options that we accept. I can just browse to that. If I just look at my downloads, have a look at that screenshot, add my information, and you can see this has now been loaded into the evidence. I'll submit that to the county FA. So response has been received. If I'm just going to quickly jump into the county and see if I can find that one, WGS North, 100, discipline, misconducts. Should have got you to do this, Sam, if I thought about it.
I'm doing it now for you.
Yeah, oh, what a star. So I'll just talk about this. So if I look at one that's already been done, have a look at Ragnar, you can see this has had the response received. It hasn't yet been added to a hearing. We've attached, I've done this in a previous demo, and once the results come in, they will show here. I don't think I've got it. A good example. It hasn't been, oh, okay. So this has been added to a hearing. It's been a correspondence. This is when it was submitted, and it's been added to an online hearing here, and you will see this information in there. Again, within the results section, you'll be able to see what admin fees have been, it's waiting an invoice, and we can look at the information. So you can see here you've got your E10 charge that's been proven, and any suspensions that might be related to it. Once again, you can view the details of the suspensions in there. And I'm hoping if I now go back into this charge there, yeah, this has now been processed by the county, but hasn't yet been added to a hearing. We mentioned again before about the invoicing. So you now have the option not to just keep continually paying one invoice at a time. If I look at, again, I'll filter my yellow cards out. I'm awaiting an invoice. I've got a couple of options here. I can just click on the single one and create an invoice. And it gives me any information or any cases that haven't yet been invoiced. Because I've gone on a single case, it will always grey out this because that's the one that I've selected. But I can just go through and click as many invoices that I want to pay in that time and click on create. So you can see here, I've added 5 cases to it with the total added includes VAT. So I can either go and proceed to pay, or I can download the invoice. Oh, sorry, I've had more than 5 cases. I was wondering why that didn't add up. So it shows me a list of cases, and then I can go and download the invoice. So you've got the option, if you want to pay a single invoice, absolutely no problem whatsoever. If you do want to go and invoice a number of cases at a time, then that's absolutely fine. You can do that on your own. Your invoices will show. I'll go back now. So within your payments, this is the one that I've just created. If you don't want to pay it straight away, you can see that the invoice is listed within your payment section, and then you can go and proceed to pay via there. Now, Sam, I'm bound to have missed something, but I think we've pretty much covered everything from the red, yellow and misconduct thing. And my voice is going again. Too much singing at the weekend.
I think you have covered everything. There's a lot of questions in the chat, so I'm just going to scale the screen off yet. But if you need to take it back off me to demo something, that's perfectly fine.
Cool.
So bear with me 1 second. Let me just bring this back up. Oh, my Teams has just fallen apart. So bear with me 1 second. Here we go. Share that.
And it's good that we've got some discipline, guys. So be prepared when I can't answer the question.
I'm still having my computer having a full-on meltdown in front of me. You might be seeing a black screen and you might not be, but hopefully you're back with me and you should say questions on screen. Is that right?
No, you're unpresentable. Well, now I can see yours too, but yeah. And I've realised how bad my hair looks.
Right, I'm going to stop sharing and start again. The perks of Microsoft Teams when you need it to perform. Right, can you see questions now?
Yeah, perfect.
Lovely stuff. Cool. I am just going to put this there and then bring it across here. Cool. So we have had a few questions in. There's a few questions, Claire, around people trying to add suspensions, but they're on the odd issue in terms of adding some suspension matches. Is there anything that clubs should be doing, or is there an issue that we are currently working through?
Yeah, we are working through one or two issues at the moment. However, if you're having problems, either speak to your county FA or please do drop a ticket into our grassroots service desk. You'll get full details of that. If somebody can pop it in the chat, we can maybe pin that to the top. But pop a ticket in if you're having any problems with that.
Thank you very much. There's been a few questions again on, and it's not necessarily discipline related, but we'll cover it. It's about multi-factor authentication and having to log in with a code once a day. Is that needed to be done more than once a day, or is it just the once a day now that we have to authenticate yourselves?
It's once a day now. You'll get a code. You might need to do it after 24 hours. You certainly shouldn't be having to apply it more than once a day. It's standard in all of our systems. It is coming into full time in the very near future too. Interesting standard.
Yeah, thank you very much. There's been a few questions again around intentions to claim, and this might not be the full tech solution. It might be a discipline one, so I might come to the Hayley or Grace if possible, but there's some timeline questions around the 3 days and what do we do if it's past 3 days. Hayley, I don't know if you're able to come on and just explain, like, if you are intending to claim, if the referee hasn't put the report in almost instantly, what is the best way for a club to contact, or at least to work through this and try and get it resolved in the quickest way possible?
Yeah, no problem, Sam. So I have just answered someone on this. The best advice from me is not to risk it. So if you know that a player has been sent off, is to contact the county FA immediately, because that deadline is ticking straight away, unfortunately. So what has to happen is the suspension starts 7 days after, regardless of that report going in. So we only have 7 days to conclude it. So that's why there's really strict deadlines, unfortunately, on the claims for wrongful dismissal or mistaken identity. So it is important that you don't take the risk. And I've seen this happen with some clubs, and they do. And unfortunately, it has bitten them come that deadline expiring and that suspension has started because they've not had the right to claim. So that would be my advice. Don't risk it. Contact your county and let them know straight away. It's not come through, but you want to make the intention to claim. Is that all right, Sam?
Amazing. Thanks, Hayley.
No worries.
Thank you so much. Claire, I'm going to come back to you. We've had a few questions again on what roles are able to see discipline in Club Portal, because in the past you'd had to be one of 3 key officials, because it didn't include welfare officer, bizarrely, to discipline or be a discipline officer on whole game system who can view it in Club Portal.
Yes, it's any club admin. So it's all of your key officials. And what role do we use again for club discipline?
I think it's Club Discipline Officer, isn't it?
It is Club Discipline Officer, yeah. They also have club admin privileges to deal with the discipline.
Perfect. We've also had a few questions on friendlies and suspensions from friendlies. A number of people asking, do they qualify as suspension matches? I will answer this one because I actually know it. One of the very few I do know. But if you are sent off in a friendly, your suspension matches need to be from a friendly. But if you were sent off in a standard like league game, cup game, friendlies do not count as qualifying matches for a suspension. So hopefully that is perfectly clear. But if in doubt, you have got the FA handbook. It is available online. And if you are in full doubt, please do contact your county FA or discipline service provider. The next question we had in a couple of times, especially in the Q&A actually, was around, do we get an email notification for every case that's raised? The answer for that one is no. You get an amalgamated email once a week of all the cases you've had. So you can either wait for that to come and then deal with them, or you might put maybe a reminder in your calendar or something to go and check in on a Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning, or even just check the day after a fixture to see what has come in if you want to be like at the start of your timeline. But the discipline emails will come out once a week. You'll pick them up on a cadence. If you have no discipline and no suspensions, you won't get an email. We don't send you an email for nothing. So I have seen someone comment they haven't had anything yet. That's most likely because you've had no discipline yet in the new England football portals. But once you have got some, you will start to see them come through in a weekly email. So you get a weekly suspension one and the weekly case summation, I don't know, summary of all the cases you've had coming into your club. So do keep an eye out for those. We've had a question around suspensions from last season, what to do. So Claire, if a club has, or if a player has, actually this in two parts if I can, because I've seen it twice now in two separate ways. If a player has a suspension from last season, where does a club put in their suspension matches? And the second part is if a player has picked up a suspension from a club, a different club from last season, and they're now joining a new club, what can they do to clear that suspension off, or at least add those suspension matches?
Yeah, all of the suspensions have been transferred into the portal. So any suspension matches will be added into your club portal, exactly the same. If a player's moved team, the new club will have to manually add the suspensions on there. But it's all done in club portal now. Absolutely nothing left in whole game system to do with discipline.
Lovely stuff. A couple of questions on this as well. Can you only pay by card, or do you have the ability to pay by backs or check, cash, anything?
Oh goodness, you're putting us right on the spot now. No, you can still go into the county and they can mark the invoice as paid. Backs, not yet, I don't believe, but somebody might call us a liar here, Adam. But no, not for backs. Yeah.
You can, I'll chip in here. You can transfer you can backs to your county FA and they can mark that invoice as paid by backs.
Yeah.
But it doesn't automatically do it. So it will be slightly slower. The fastest way to pay is via card if you've got that facility.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
No worries, thank you. And this one is simple for you. Can you export your cases into an Excel document?
No.
Thank you. No, you can't. The system is a live portal. So if you think that an export is required, again, please do put it in the chat, because again, we've got people on the call who are building and running and listening back to user feedback. So if this is something that you think is required, please do it. At the moment, there's no ability to export all your discipline cases into a PDF or into an Excel document. Next question, I might ask you, Claire, but you can defer it because I'm not 100% myself. But what is the time frame to pay the invoices?
It does tell you in the club portal when the invoice is due for payment. It is listed. Yeah. So within your club portal, within your payment section, you can see what date the invoice was raised and the due date of your invoice in there. So obviously it depends on the date of it that the case was raised. But yeah, your due date is in there for you to look at.
Fabulous. Thank you very much. A couple of questions on this actually. How will, I'll phrase it in one way, but it can go in obviously many, but how will a suspension show if I'm a Sunday club, but the person has a Saturday suspension?
Again, that will tell you within the case itself if the player is suspended from, Saturday only football, etc. Within your player portal, you can click on the player. It tells you that that player is suspended, but you will need to go into discipline to see if it's Saturday only, Sunday only suspensions. They will have a red mark against the player as well if they are suspended, only suspended.
Perfect. The next question we've had a few times as well, and it's just coming as I've been flicking through, is around historical information. So will a club be able to see any previous suspension history for a player if it's prior to this season? It's obviously it's been raised in whole game before this.
No, your County FA has visibility. They've got that 5-year offence history. So County FA can have visibility of that information. Within the discipline tab, and if you're looking at an individual offender, it has got the offence history within there, and the number of cautions that they've had, but I believe that's just from this season only.
Fabulous, thank you. And the next one we've had, and Lee, I know you're on the line, and I'm going to come to you for this one, but we've had a couple of questions in around match day. Will suspensions pull through to match day for clubs and managers to be able to view then, so that they aren't playing ineligible players when the club secretary isn't able to provide that or be pitch side to be able to help that manager selecting which players are eligible and aren't eligible as well?
You really throw me on the spot on a evening. Yes, the idea is that it will in turn show that information and will be able to be selected in the lineup, but that work is ongoing this season. So initially it might just have a tag next to it, so you can still select them. So be mindful if you are using Matchday app, but the future enhancements is you will not be able to select them.
Brilliant, thanks, Lee. So I think the advice there is that managers will see if a player is suspended, but they won't see the suspension detail. So they might come to you as club admins to get that detail if they haven't got it in there. Claire, I'll ask you this one. Will suspension show in full time? No,
sadly not yet. I mean, I can't tell you how long we've been waiting for suspensions to show in full time. But no, sadly not for this season. It is something that we're still pushing for. Obviously, we've got the matches now flowing from full time into the club portal and also into the referee portal. So the referee doesn't have to start creating matches and stuff. But there is no flow back of the suspension information into full time as yet. We'll push for though.
Perfect, thank you. And then there's a supplementary question which I'll answer from Andy, our friend Andy in Cheshire, which was around, will the 7-day window where clubs can view opposition players in full time show that players are suspended? So again, not yet, but again, we will be working with our systems to try and get this as streamlined across the systems as we possibly can. I'm just checking what questions we have. We've had an absolute load of people asking around, is this session being recorded and where will it be available? So again, yes, it is being recorded and it will be available on our YouTube channel tomorrow. You will actually be able to view this recording via your email. So the link you've used to join tonight will become the link to view the recording. But if you share that with anyone externally, they won't be able to see it. But if you follow us on Grassroots Tech, again, I'll show you the links in a second. You'll be able to share that. That will be online tomorrow, hopefully by midday at the very latest. And you can share that across your club, or if you're a league and want to show it across to your clubs, you are more than welcome to go and do so. I'm just conscious of time. We've got probably a tiny bit of time for a couple more questions. But I can see that some of these have been answered, so I don't want to do the same. But we have, a very good question actually from Jan. Claire, how can we see our penalty points score?
Yeah, it's a very good question. How can you see? Bear with. Penalty point score. I don't think you can yet. But please, somebody from discipline come in and tell us different. I don't think that's available as yet. It is going to be available certainly for within the competition portal. That will be available for the leagues.
I'm not
Really
100%
neither.
sure on this, Claire,
Yeah.
but I do know that the counties will have access to doing reports, and we're certainly encouraging them to provide clubs with the reports to make sure that they're improving behaviour, not obviously reaching penalty points thresholds, but I'm not entirely sure whether it's going on the club portal or not, sorry.
Yeah, thanks, Ellie. We'll find that out. And
Yeah.
any questions we don't answer today, we will put on our knowledge base. And again, I'll signpost you to that at the back end of this session. So a great question. Thank you very much for that one. We have had a couple of questions in, and I'll cover this one around referees not being able to report on time. Again, we have made this reporting process as quick as we possibly can for referees and as mobile friendly, so they can do it literally straight after a game. If they don't, county FAs obviously have the power to charge referees and to deal with them in their own right. Football as a whole works when we all work together. So that's the systems working right, you working right as clubs, referees doing their bit as well, and putting in their discipline. We are really, and the county affairs are really pushing referees to do this in a more timely manner. Yes, there will be one or two that sneak through the net. Just keep in contact with your county or your discipline provider, and they will be able to help you through this process. But we are hopeful that now it is so simple and easy for referees, these will be few and far between, and you'll just be able to deal with them in the time frames that are now prescribed in the regulations. But we are working with referees and our referee colleagues to make sure that they are doing this, as I say, in the most timely manner possible. But there will be the ones that get through, but we have got safeguards in place to cope with that. So do bear with us on that one. Again, we've answered a lot of these questions that are now starting to come through. So I'll just double check where am I here? Oh, Claire, I've had a great question. Hopefully nice and easy for you. When is discipline live in Club Portal?
It's already there. Even I know this one. Yes, Club Portal already has your discipline tab. You should be able to see if you've got permissions. You should be able to see that now.
Lovely stuff. And I know this isn't necessarily for leagues this session, but I have had a question around when this does go live for leagues. It will be in place by mid-September, the very, very latest. We are aware that we are in the most ideal circumstances would have this prior to the start of the season, but just because of a couple of other issues and things we've been working through, it has been pushed back so slightly. But bear in mind, a club has full visibility of all of their suspensions, as does a county FA. So they can always clarify it. It's not on you as a league to enforce these suspensions on behalf of a club. The club has the responsibility here. But I would say to you, make sure that your clubs know to check first, but you are getting visibility and you will have it at the very latest by mid-September. So please do bear with us. It is coming. We know it's not ideal. It's coming just slightly into the start of some of the seasons that are kicking off around now, but it is coming. So please do bear with us on that one. But it is definitely coming. And I'll do one more question if I've not answered it yet. I have had a question in, and he says expect not to answer a question, not a question expected to answer, but we'll answer it anyway. But it's always been on his mind. Why do children get a monetary fine for yellow cards? 12-year-olds getting fined has never sat well with me. What I will say is that children aren't fined. The club is instead. I completely understand your sentiment here. But yes, the child does not charge themselves. No, it goes to the club. Once they reach adult football, it then goes back to the individual being charged. But as we move forwards in life, things might change, regulations might change, but that is how it is in the most in the current state of play. And I know someone at the end, how is the club meant to pay for that? You can claim it back from the parent. That's up to you as a club to manage. Most clubs that I've come across in my hometown of Lancashire will claim it back off the parents if a child's been fined. Again, you're well within your rights to do that as a club. It's within your club rules. Perfectly fine. But the individual is not the child's not being asked for the payments. In this instance, the club is. But I am conscious of time, and I just want to wrap this up. So thank you for your questions. All those we haven't answered, we will answer on our knowledge base, which I'll signpost to in just in a second or two. But really do appreciate you getting involved in the chat. And hopefully you found that demonstration really useful. And hopefully you've seen how straightforward it is now to do your discipline. Whole game did have its issues and integration issues as well, where some things didn't show instantly. This doesn't happen in the club portal. So one thing I just want to point you towards is our knowledge base. I've referenced it several times. All of our user guidance, all of our updates, our release notes, etc. Anything you need to know about all of these processes and further, whether it be accreditation, affiliation, player registration, it's all available on our knowledge base, and you can access that at grassrootstechnology.thefa.com. And if you've got any problems with any of your digital systems, again, within grassrootstechnology.thefa.com, you can raise a ticket with our support team, and they will be on hand to support you and sort that out. So grassrootstechnology.thefa.com is the key place to go to for anything digital technology wise. We are also on plenty of social media channels. We are recently onto TikTok and onto Instagram. We are posting different versions of our support guidance onto those channels. So if you know that your manager won't go to a website to watch a 3-minute video, but it may be slightly more likely to watch a 30-second version that's very quickly gone through on a social platform that they spend their time on, you can share it there. So we are FAGR Tech on TikTok, we are FAGR Tech on X or Twitter, and we are FAGR Tech on Instagram. And on YouTube, we are Grassroots Tech. You'll find us on there. All of our guidance videos are on there. We do a pretty much monthly technology update as well. So it will tell you issues you may be experiencing, we're trying to fix, what to expect within the next month in terms of releases. And any updates we can possibly give you will also appear on our YouTube channel. So if I can say to you, the two main things to follow here are grassrootstechnology.thefa.com is the website, bookmark it, favorite it, share that one, and also our YouTube channel, because everything hits those two. You won't miss a thing. But if you want to be down with the kids and boost my ego, please do go and follow us on TikTok as well, because that's where our shorter form content is now showing for those people who, like me, have no attention span and just want things quickly spoken through. But we are on those platforms too. And finally, a lot of you on the call, if not all of you on the call, are volunteers. We do, if you aren't aware, we do have a scheme of the England football family. It's free to join. Just head to englandfootball.com and go into the volunteers section under participate in our website, and you can sign up to be part of the England football family. You might be thinking, why the hell would I do that? Well, you get one email a month, which basically gives you some key updates, but basically it rewards you for you being a volunteer. So we've had things like St. George's Park training visits, Wembley pitch days. We've had a number of people now played on the pitch at Wembley, something I've been very privileged to do. And I will happily say on this call, because it's recorded, that I've kept a clean sheet several times at Wembley Stadium. The 2 times I played on it, and that's something that not many people can say, but you as a volunteer can do if you sign up to this. You also get ticket offers, so free tickets for your club or for your organisation if you're a provider. We do kit giveaways, night kit giveaways with your branding on it as well. So it's not just like this, it will have your club logo and it's training kit, playing kit, whatever it might be. And we've had a number of legend visits and FA Cup visits, if you can call the actual trophy a legend itself. I'm not sure, and it's not necessarily a sentient being, but we do give them out. Also, what we do have in there is a thank you. So if you as a club admin want to thank some of your coaches or other admins within your club, we always get told that volunteers aren't or don't feel recognised enough, and we aren't all on the ground to recognise everybody. So again, within the England football family, you are able to thank a volunteer, and those volunteers do get really cool giveaways. We did have a volunteer who was thanked and for the number of hours that they give to their club, and Google very kindly gave them a full-on a Chromebook, a Google Pixel Pro 9 or 9 Pro, all because of that one thank you letter. So the more you can thank your volunteers, and it may even thank you, we are trying to reward you as much as we possibly can now, because without you guys, the grassroots football doesn't run, and we are very much understanding of that. I want to give you the opportunity to be rewarded, thanked, and appreciated for the actual work you do, because we do genuinely very much appreciate it. So speaking of appreciations, I very much appreciate you joining us this evening. We are on time. It's 28 past. So we are on time. Hopefully you found this useful. Again, the recording will be available on our YouTube channel. We are Grassroots Tech on YouTube. It'll be online by about midday tomorrow to share around. The meeting link for tonight will become a recording link as well, if you want to refer back to this at any one point. But thank you so much for being engaged in the chat. Thank you for all your questions. We really appreciate it. Those we've not been able to cover will be available on our grassroots knowledge base at grassrootstechnology.thefa.com. And finally, my thank yous go to Claire, to Hayley, Grace, Lee, John and Adam, who've been joining us in the chat and supporting us through this as well. So we hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you're still celebrating the Lionesses' historic victory from Sunday night. We hope you have a wonderful season. And please do not think this is the one and only way you can contact us. Please do keep talking to us through the season. We are all ears. We do listen. And if you want things change in the systems, head to grassrootstechnology.thefa.com, go to the forum and put in your enhancement requests. We do listen to them. We do build them in. So they are there for you. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we will see you again, hopefully, in the very near future. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.